Hey, what's up everybody? Truth Seeker here. This video is brought to you by my tip jar. If you'd like to be able to support the channel, please just click the link in the description below. You can tip me $1 or $2, or you can also check out our other fan funding options that we also have in the description links. And a big thank you to everybody that's already helping, because you guys are really the reasons why I'm able to do this right now. Now on to the story. It says, turns out our disgraced and politicized FBI also helped pay for it. According to a report, the FBI has used the hacked dossier's author's work in the past. Gee, did they hire him specifically for this? Makes you wonder, right? Coming in from the Daily Caller, it says, FBI officials have told Congress that investigators had not cooperated with the dossier's allegations when it was cited in the FISA application. But the FISA application shows that the FBI and Justice Department believes Steele to be a reliable source. Steele has become compensated for other work by the FBI, and his intelligence has been used in other criminal proceedings. This is an unprecedented moment in FOIA transparency, as never before has a FISA warrant been processed for release. Bradley Moss, a national security attorney who filed one of the numerous lawsuits for the page documents, told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Now with the actual documents in hand, not political spin written by lawmakers with agendas, the American public can make their own decision on whether anything was inappropriate about the surveillance of Carter Page.
Meanwhile, the man identified by the Obama administration as a Russian agent walks free tonight. He is a living rebuke to this whole grotesque hoax. He is Carter Page, and he joins us live tonight. Carter Page, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
So, this application repeatedly describes you as an agent of the Russian government, repeatedly. Are you aware of any criminal charges pending against you? Do you expect to be charged for working for the Russian government?
Not only am I not aware of it, Tucker, there's also the fact that no question I've ever been asked by the FBI in terms of any of these fake theories related to the dossier, as you're alluding to. None of those made any sense whatsoever. So there's not even a premise by which I could even conceivably be charged. So it's absolutely ridiculous.
And yet there are specifics from the dossier. Apparently, this comes from the dossier, but the application accuses you of meeting with two Russian officials, both named Igor Sechin and Igor Divyekin. Did you meet with either one of those men?
I never met with them in my life, ever. Yep.
Do you believe that allegation comes from the Steele dossier?
Absolutely. It's funny, in July of 2016, 2 months before the Yahoo News article came out, I started getting these calls from various news reporters, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, all asking me about these same two names of people I've never even heard of in my, I had heard of Sechin, I never even heard of Divyekin. And so it was obvious, and some people told me from the media that they heard about it from the Clinton campaign, et cetera, but, so finally they found someone to put it out in 45 days before the election in Yahoo News,
So the Clinton campaign, of course, learned about it from Christopher Steele, whom they were paying to gather this dossier. And it's my understanding, too, from the testimony in recent months that Steele never visited Russia, never bothered to go to Russia as he assembled this dossier. Is that correct?
That's my understanding as well. And, there's a number of lawsuits going on, Mr. Gubarev down in Southern District of Florida. So
right.
Hopefully these civil, yes, I know. Hopefully these civil cases can get to the bottom of this. And it's
but
great.
Yet at the same time, now we learn that in October of 2016, really at the height of the intensity of the presidential campaign, Christopher Steele, on the payroll of the Clinton campaign, briefs officials at the State Department. And that briefing apparently was used as one of the pretexts for spying on you. Am I connecting those dots correctly?
That's my understanding, Tucker. And, just based on this, these 400 plus pages of documents, there's a lot in there about media. It's sort of quoting a lot of media sources. And, I've talked with a couple of former assistant U.S. attorneys, et cetera, and no one has ever heard of anything like this in terms of this type of a court filing. It's just absolutely preposterous in terms of their sources. So
One of the reasons I find this story so fascinating is because you are an actual person, an American, a Naval Academy graduate, and you're willing to talk in public. It's amazing to me that you have been the target of this surveillance and lived to tell the tale. You're not being charged, as you said, and I think you're probably right. What has it done to your life? How do you feel knowing that the federal government was spying on your personal life for a year?
Tucker, it's absolutely outrageous, but I have to say I'm very happy to have gotten the finally, 14 months later, the FBI answered my FOIA requests. This weekend, we started having a little bit of transparency. Obviously, there's 100+ pages of blacked out information, and I think it's just starting the process in terms of getting to the real truth of these crimes that were committed against American democracy with this abusive process in the FISA court.
But really committed against you. I mean, your government, on the basis of no actual evidence, has accused you of treason and spied on you as a result. I mean, how does that, as someone who served your country in the military as a naval officer, how does that make you feel?
Well, my bigger concern is, there's obviously big problems in the U.S. Department of Justice. There are these false court pleadings, the false court pleadings that U.S. Attorney Berman has put in terms of my civil case against Broadcasting Board of Governors. But the bigger issue, which is my bigger concern, is the complete failure of the U.S. intelligence community in terms of looking at this Russia issue. If this is what they're using...
Well, it sounds like they succeeded, actually. I don't know if it's a failure. They had a very specific goal in mind, and they've achieved it. That's why we're talking about it today. They've hamstrung the workings of government for a year and a half. Carter Page, you're a lot more forgiving than I would be in your position. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
I mean, we literally can't make this stuff up, folks. We really can't. And it kind of makes me wonder how many other times they use this guy and they never knew about it. Or how many other people they have that's just like this guy that they use in other countries. I mean, there's more and more piles of proof just built up on this on a daily basis now that it's not even funny. But one thing I do know is this charade isn't going to last long. It's definitely coming to an end. A justice that we the people have been seeking for quite some time now. And I have a feeling that's going to be the grand finale after the 2020 election. Just so he knows he could secure the deal and actually prosecute every single one of them. And we're also going to go after every single person that was supporting this Russian Trump witch hunt, because this was just an absurdity to the whole entire United States. Our tax dollars, our time that got wasted, we all knew it was a sham from the get-go. We all knew it. And I think that's what's infuriating people the most, is that the fact that this investigation is still going on. So I can't wait to see what the outcome of all this is going to be, because I already know who the good guys are and who the bad guys are already. But this outcome is going to tell the world who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And maybe, just maybe, a little smidgen maybe, some of the sheep will actually go, oh, I was wrong. Wishful thinking, probably. But one can only hope, right? What do you guys think about all this? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
News to Yahoo News that got the ball rolling, and in fact, he did.
You know, Steve, I call it a self-licking ice cream cone, that document. They talk about the dossier generally. Then they talk about news reports about the dossier. Then they talk about a State Department information about Carter Page that had its origins, according to reports, in the dossier in the Clinton campaign. This is a Clinton campaign document that was presented to the court as if it weren't. And then they used reports about the Clinton campaign document and legal operation to further justify asking for a warrant to target the Trump team. It's look, anyone who signed on to this needs to be asked questions about why they signed on to it, what they knew and when, and unfortunately includes the current administration official, the number 2 of the Justice Department, Rod Rosenstein.
Sure. What is puzzling to me, though, is the fact that they did not reveal that the DNC and Hillary Clinton were paying for the dossier. Instead, they said, you know, somebody's obviously looking for dirt on Trump. Is that enough?
Oh, I encourage your viewers to go and look at that portion of the dossier. It's a footnote where they describe source number 1, which looked to be the major source. They went out of their way to talk about, to avoid talking about the fact it was the Clinton campaign behind it. There was no good reason not to inform the court that. other than to, again, mislead the court into providing a pretext to spy on the Trump team. And look, this is about Carter Page, in theory, but when you look at what's been released, it was all about getting at the Trump campaign.
Absolutely. And we heard from Carter Page yesterday. He said it's laughable. So
he wasn't a spy. He wasn't an agent of the Russians. He was a cooperator with the FBI. Right. They didn't need to spy on him. It was a fraud and a hoax designed to target Trump, and the DOJ and FBI and the Obama gang behind it need to be held to account.
Well, by spying on him, they got to spy on everybody in the Trump campaign. Tom Fenton, we thank you very much. It was Judicial Watch that, with their Freedom of Information requests, that got this out in front of all of us. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Please subscribe to our channel, like our video,